Hi everybody, Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot. So today I decided I would go live. So if you don't know me or my channel, I decided that I would go live today with my crystal readings just to give back a little bit to the community. It has given so much back to me. I've got so much support, made some really good friends through YouTube, and I decided that I would do this, just offer some crystal scrying. So a few of you have chosen the same crystal, which is a clear quartz sphere that I've got sitting right here in that one there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read as much as I can. I'll read out the names who've chosen that sphere, but I'll read as much as I can in it. So I've only just, it's going to be interesting actually, because I did a private scrying for a friend on the Sunday with that crystal. It'll be interesting to see if I'm going to actually see anything more about it. So I only started scrying back in 2018. I don't even know what made me start actually looking at crystals. I suppose we don't even know what makes you start when you start reading the tarot, doesn't it? But it's just something that seems to have come very naturally to me, and I really, really enjoy it. So the first person who I'm just going to, so what I'm doing, there's going to be, how many people we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 9 people who've come in and chosen a crystal. I know some of you can't be here because of the time difference. I tried to think of a time where everybody could join in, but you know, it's absolutely impossible, isn't it? So let's get started. So the first one was Jen from the Lovely Signs to the Soul, and she couldn't choose between 2. So she chose the, I'll just get it out. I've got them actually sitting in some herbs and I've had them charging. So she chose the K2 crystal, which is this one here, and also a piece of blue lace agate. So I'm probably going to do both because it doesn't really matter because I haven't got a lot of people here. So let's see what I can see. I might just should have brought the computer a little bit closer. Excuse me for all the wobbles. There we go. I can't actually zoom in on this one like my other one. So the first thing that's attracting me, of course, is the blue spots. Now this particular crystal comes from, so I've read, from the mountain peaks in Pakistan. And the blue spots are really attractive. What I'm thinking of is when I look at these spots is that it reminds me of ink spots. I don't know if you've been doing a lot of journaling and writing, Jen, at all, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like that you're writing out a lot of what you're feeling at the moment. And because they are blue as well, I feel like it's your throat chakra is really opening up and you're being able to express yourself with great clarity. And also because there's lots of little black dots in this, it's you know, I'm not going to be able to really show you too much, but you kind of get, because it doesn't really, it's a little bit blurred, isn't it? But it's because there's so many fine grey speckled areas. I get this, I actually see you in my mind's eye sitting down journaling, but I also see you crossing out things and I see you writing little notes in between. You know, I know because I'm a shocking writer. So I often cross out things and write things on top, or I put a little arrow up because I've forgotten to add things in it. And that's what I'm getting with you. I feel like that's what you're doing. You're doing so much journaling at the moment. So let's see what else I can see. I also see a bird. Now, I have been seeing so many birds lately, and I really kind of feel with all the turmoil that's been happening in the world with Black Lives Matter, and you know, the more I read about it, it's just so awful. But because I'm seeing a lot of birds, I feel like that there's a lot of spirit messages that are coming. There are a lot of messages out there for us. We only need to listen, and we only need to turn our eyes up to the sky literally and see what type of birds that you see around the area that you live, what's going on in the clouds, that type of thing. But I feel like I get this feeling that, you know, you need to look up. There's something that you need to look up at, Jen, that's trying to grab your attention, basically. So there's lots of birds that I've been seeing constantly. Let's see what else I can say. I'm also seeing what looks like, you know, when you see the gas light or something, or fire, and it's got a little blue bit in it and then there's flames all around it. I'm seeing that, and I feel like that you're going through some type of transformation, much like a phoenix. Some part of you has been burnt away and is rising. There's a new you coming up. And I do feel, because you've chosen both crystals are kind of blue, I think, because with the blue lace, it's definitely is a stability type of crystal. And because this does come from a mountainous peak as well, I kind of feel like that you really need to work on your throat chakra and express what you're feeling. But I think you need to be more receptive to spiritual messages, because this has got a lot of white in it, but it's got the little grey speckled areas in it. And I'm feeling like you're not really hearing the messages that are coming from spirit, and that you need to open yourself up more. And the way to do that is continue journaling like you have been doing, to to get that throat chakra moving. Even if you're not physically speaking, writing it out will help you receive the messages. See what else I can get. I also feel there's a big cluster here of 5. I don't know if the number 5 means anything at all to you as well. Could be 5 friends. It could be 5 things that you want to do. Now there's, as I was looking at that bit that looked like a fire, now it looks like a pair of blue eyes looking straight at me. So I don't know if blue eyes means anything to you. So I'm just saying everything that comes out, because sometimes we don't, I think the thing with scrying, and even with when you're reading tarot cards, is that you have to say what you see, no matter how silly it sounds, because it might have great meaning to the other person out there. Yeah, so big blue eyes. I don't know if anyone's got big blue eyes that you... I think that's it I'm getting out of that crystal. Let's have a look at the blue lace agate. So, of course, this is a really beautiful piece, and it's not really going to show, but it's got lots of lines, beautiful lines that go all the way through. And they're quite straight, actually, and they're quite a little bit wavy. So it tells me that emotionally it's been a little bit up and down for you lately. And look, honestly, I think all of us feel like that because of what's been happening in the world. That's totally new, totally not new, but totally understandable. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, this particular bit here has got, and you're not going to see it on camera, but it's almost like a fingerprint. I feel like that you feel like you're a bit under the thumb in some ways. There's something that you're trying to break free of. There's something that's holding you back, holding you down, and it's probably got to do with your throat chakra. You're not expressing what it is that you want to get out, and it's making you feel very emotional at the moment. And I feel like if you go to the sea, if you live by the seaside or anything like that, if you sit by the sea, I think that energy will help you as well. And take your shoes and socks off and dig your feet in the sand. I think for some reason I feel like that will help you. There's also on one end, on one top of it, it's quite grey. So I think there's a grey area in your life that you're trying to sort through as well. And this is a very square piece. It's a lot of my crystals are quite triangular in shape, but this is a very, very square piece of agate. And I feel like that you need to look outside the square when it comes to certain areas in your life. And knitting just popped into my head. I don't know if you've been thinking about knitting or somebody that you knew knits. So if somebody that you know knits a lot, I feel like they're thinking about you, or it might be that you've decided you'd like to take up knitting as well. So I see this, I can't see them, but I see someone knitting like a striped jumper, much like that. I don't know, when we were kids, I think you might be around the same age as me, but it used to be this big thing with have lots of stripes on your jumper around the front sort of thing. And I kind of see someone knitting a jumper like that. I don't know if am I picking up on your grandmother? I don't know. But I feel like knitting. That's just come into my head. What else? And I will read the comments a little bit. I might read them after each little crystal scry before I go on to the next one, because I've got no time. I'm not in a rush or anything like that. Yeah, and I think that's it, Jen. That's what I'm getting at the moment out of these two crystals. So we just keep turning it around and around. I also just noticed now, you know, when you throw a rock in a pool of water and it all kind of ripples out, I feel like that something has recently happened that makes you feel like that someone's thrown in it. Some type of action has had a far-reaching consequence, more so than you thought so when it first happened. Does that make sense? But yeah, I feel like this rippling out kind of a thing. Yeah, that's it. So let's have a look. So much writing. Oh, that's good. Lots of, yeah. Now, sometimes when I read with the crystal, and even though it's for a specific person, it's going to have a meaning for quite a few of you out there, and that's fine, because you've all been attracted to come to my channel and notice that I'm offering scrying for a reason, because there's a message that you need to hear. So even though I'm reading a crystal for somebody else, you might hear a message in there that resonates with you. Take it that it is a message for you. It's just like when we do our tarot readings for the week. Some of it will resonate with you and some of it won't. So it's a bit like this with crystal scrying too. So I might read for somebody else, but there might be a message in there for you as well. So I just thought I would say that. Right, so the next one is Boy Diviner. Now, he told me that he wasn't sure because of the time difference of what he could get. So I'll just brush off the herbs, and I thought I'd sit them all in herbs. So he's chosen a beautiful smoky quartz cluster that I have, which, funny enough, I haven't actually read with yet. So let's see what I can get with that. And the first thing that I'm noticing actually is this side. Can you see how it's got a lot of clear crystal on that side? And then on and then this side is more darker. It's got a little bit there. So this is telling me that I feel that you've got two very different sides to you. One's light and one's dark. And sometimes the darkness seems to drown you. And I feel like that this could be, you may suffer from some type of depression. And honestly, I think there's probably a lot of us that have been feeling like that because of what has actually been happening. So, but what I'd like to say is that I also feel that you're too hard on yourself. So this light and dark side of yourself, that you feel that you're more darker than light, it's not true, because there's more. I've got more of the light in this crystal than I have of the dark on one side. So don't feel like that you are not light enough for the world. You've got plenty of light within you. You shine your light on the world. So don't be afraid to that you're sinking deeper and deeper into darkness. So that's what I get a feeling. When I'm thinking of you and I'm holding this, I feel like there's a black thing over your head, that you're just not feeling the light. And I think also this has got to do with what's happening with the world. I mean, all of us, who divine and who read the tarot, crystals, whatever, we're all sensitive, aren't we, really? No matter how tough an outlook we put on out there, we're all pretty sensitive, because we wouldn't be able to connect with all these energies. And I'm here to tell you that you are a beautiful soul, and not to feel that you're not good enough, because that's the feeling I'm getting, that you feel that you're not good enough in some way. And I know, actually, I'll have to have a look on my Instagram, because I only just opened up my Instagram account again, and I don't think I've followed you yet. But I remember you were struggling with your tarot readings, thinking that you're not good enough. It's not true. You are good enough, okay? You, my friend, have to believe in yourself. Once you believe in yourself, your whole world will get lighter and lighter and lighter, okay? I also feel, because with this particular chunk of crystal, it's not self-healed. There's a little bit that's self-healed. Usually when they break off, they heal quite nicely. I should have brought my Lemurian one. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just go grab it. Excuse me. Just in case, for those of you who aren't familiar. So this is my Lemurian crystal. Oops, I have to get used to it. So you can see how nice and smooth it is, because it's healed. Whereas this one here, it's quite rough. There's only a very small area here which is healed. And I feel like that this healing process that you're going through is started, okay? So it's there. It's a small piece, but there's a lot of rocky outcrops everywhere. And there's even, I noticed this, which I haven't actually noticed about this crystal, there's a needle-like bit there. I don't know if you can see that. Very small, tiny needle there. And I feel like, to be honest, that somebody has been a real prick to you. That's what I'm getting, okay? That's what I'm getting. It's just someone who's always pushing you and needling at you and is annoying you. You need to get rid of this person, okay? If it's on social media or something like that, block them. If it's one of your so-called friends, get rid of them. You don't need that negativity in your life. You truly, truly don't. And because you've picked a smoky quartz, a cluster, this is telling me that you want to feel protected, that you need some type of protection. And perhaps you should get a piece yourself if you haven't already got one and make you feel better. And there's also on this end here, can you kind of see that silvery reflection there? Well, that actually looks like a tree with a face on it. And I get this energy of an older person around you, much like very lined in the face, old. I don't know if this is your grandfather that I'm picking up on or somebody that you think of as a grandfather. And I feel like that they are watching over you, but is somebody that gave you great grounding, that made you feel really stable. And if this person is missing from your life, this could just be through, so they've passed away or they actually live, you don't live very close together. And I feel like that you need to think back on how they made you feel to get that feeling of being grounded again, if that kind of makes sense. I just feel like that they gave you they really made you feel grounded. They made you feel worthy in that. And you are worthy, so don't feel like that you're not. But yeah, I keep getting grandfather, so maybe it's your grandfather that I'm getting, but they do watch over you as well. And this might have been recent because this is quite raw, so I don't know if this is a recent loss or something at all, but that's what I'm feeling. Just keep turning them around. I think that's it for you, boy diviner. I'll just let me keep looking, because as soon as I say that, sometimes I see something. I've just seen two lines, 1, 2. So it looks like a square, but there's no top and there's no bottom. And also it looks, actually, you know what it looks like? It's right here. It looks like a house. And I feel like that you feel like you're trapped. Now, feeling trapped in a house, because a lot of us still have to self-isolate, is perfectly normal. But because the top is open and the bottom is open, I think this is telling me that you can get out of the square that you think you're trapped in, if that makes sense. You will, because the top is gone and there's no bottom. So you just need to walk through a door. I see you walking through a door into something better, into something that makes you feel good. Yeah, I think that's it for you, boy diviner. I've never actually tried to scry with this crystal. It was quite interesting. I wondered how I'd go with a dark crystal, because usually I'm sort of looking at lighter type of crystals where you can see the patterns and the formations. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling for you. So hopefully that resonated. So let's I'll have a little read. Oh, at least I can scroll. Not like when I went my live last time, I couldn't see anything. Oh gosh. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's funny, Jen. So your mum-in-law just brought you a striped knitted blanket. Oh, you go. I saw the stripes. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, all right. So who was next? So this one was Melissa, and this is the strawberry carnelian. So if you're wondering what a strawberry carnelian looks like, so it is a carnelian, but it's more of the feminine side. So it's a feminine crystal. So my other carnelian is quite dark, and that's the male energy. I should have grabbed it, shouldn't I? It's right here. Oh, never even thought to grab it. So that's the male one. So you can kind of see the difference, how it's more of a pinky colour. So Melissa, because you've chosen the feminine side of the carnelian, of the two carnelians that I've got, this tells me that you need to connect more with the divine feminine. So I don't know if you are highly spiritual in any way, or if you having trouble connecting to the divine feminine in some way, because I know you do create some beautiful oracle decks and everything like that. But I have just seen another bird on the end, and inside the bird, you know, the little pointy bit, you know, the little whoop, whoop, that bit there is sitting a love heart. So I feel like that quite recently you may have got a message from Spirit of love, and you're thinking, is that real? Did I really receive that message? This is confirming that, yes, you did. You definitely did receive that message. So believe in it, because it's there. And actually on the tip of one point of the heart is a little bird that's kind of pulling at it. So I kind of feel like something's pulling at your heartstrings at the moment. There's something calling. There's something pulling at your heart. Whether this means you're going to create yet another wonderful deck, I don't know. But I do feel that you've got a message for Spirit that you're not quite believing in it, and it's true. You did get it, okay? On my particular piece, you can see one side is quite kind of whitish, and the other side is quite pink, particularly this dark bit here, which is what I'm really attracted to. It kind of reminds me of a goldfish when I look at it face on. I don't know if you've been thinking about getting a fish tank, or you're thinking about maybe doing a fish-based type of oracle deck or something like that. But I'm looking at fish, so I don't know if that means anything to you. It could be that you're fishing for ideas and things to do. You might feel like you've got a little bit of a creative block, and if you connect more to the divine feminine, I think this block will alleviate. Lots and lots of stripes in this particular piece. So many stripes in this particular carnelian. And there's also almost like a little face in there, which I don't know if that's going to show up. Can you kind of see the two dots and the little mouth under there? I kind of feel like that it's winking. It's winking. I think the universe is giving you a wink, saying, hey, you're doing okay. You're doing fine, even though you don't think you are. Okay? You are where you are meant to be at this particular point in your life. Even though you feel like you may not be doing anything, going anywhere, you know, which a lot of us who have to still self-isolate would feel. But for a lot of us, it's made us dive deep into our creativity and think. So it's interesting because I've got a lot of stripes, and you know, in all of these crystals, there's a lot of stripy things. So stripes might mean something as well. Besides the knitted jumper and the blanket, it could be something else with stripes that's got some particular meaning, because this has really got so many. It almost reminds me of when you score, you know, when you do carvings and things like that. So I don't know. Actually, talking about, I just thought of wood carving. My grandfather used to be a fantastic carver. He used to carve all sorts of things out of wood. It was amazing. He really was. And he used to do pottery as well, you know, making figures out of clay and stuff like that. So I don't know if you felt like, because I feel like every time I feel like I want to mould it and make something out of it. So I don't know if that's what you've been thinking of doing. You might like to try your hand at some clay or doing some woodwork or something like that. And that's probably why I'm seeing the stripes, because, you know, when you polish up a piece of wood, you see all the beautiful stripes in the wood, and the beauty of the wood comes out. And I think that is you as well, that the beauty of you is coming out through your oracle decks and things that you create, that people are seeing the real you. But because it's a little bit faded on this side, I think you're feeling a little bit jaded and a little bit, how can I say, a little bit of a fog, a little bit of a mind fog type of thing. You've got some. It seems like I see you to write things down and cross things out as well, thinking that they're not good enough. I think you need to. I think you need to really try a few of the things out. Never think that you're not good enough, because you are. I think this is going to be an underlying message. I think we've all come here today because we feel like that we're lacking in some kind of way, and there's this very small hole in here, like a little dent, and I keep rubbing my fingers in it, and I feel like that you've had a knockback of some sort. It was only a little one, only a little knockback, but it affected you greatly, and you're finding it hard to cope. But it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. Sometimes when we do things, people aren't ready to hear it yet. So whatever got knocked back, put it to one side, leave it, and try again in a few months' time. I'm also, in this particular side here, looks like a ghost. Like a real ghost, the type that you put over the sheet and things like that, and it's a glow, like a glow around you. Actually, I take that back. That's your aura, okay? There's somebody out here or out there who can read auras. I can see this is like pure white all around you. So what you do and what you create comes from a very pure part of you. And again, your light shines out and brings light to many, many people as well, your work. So again, don't feel like that you're not good enough either, because you're fine. Everything you do is beautiful. And there's another face right above that as well. And I feel like that somebody is watching you as well from the other side. I didn't know if any spirits would come through when I did this scrying, but I do feel like that somebody is watching over you. And one of the eyes is funny. One of the eyes on the face, it almost looks like it's got a double pupil. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know if you knew somebody that had something going on with one of their eyes. I feel like it was the right eye, because I feel like I want to blink all the time. And I feel like they had if maybe if their eye was two different halves of a colour, brown and blue or something like that. I used to live next door to a girl who had half a brown and half a blue eye on the one eye. I feel like that they are watching over you. Now, I do apologise if you can hear a lot of noise. It's really windy here and raining, and my microphone is like, really close. And there's also a circle, almost like a halo as well. It's funny enough, because the eyes that I was finding something wrong with it is within that halo as well. So maybe it was in the bottom part of the eye, because it's right in the bottom. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you, or, it might be somebody else that you know. I don't know. And I've just seen a piece here, very faint, looks like seaweed. Actually, it looks like, the plants that you put in the fish tank as well, and the seaweed. So I don't know if that means anything to you. I'm just going to say everything I see. I also see a dog. It's got its head up, kind of howling. It kind of looks like a sausage dog, actually. It looks like a little sausage dog. And that's it. That's what I'm getting out of that one there. Oh, okay. So let's have another read, see if there's something. All right, that's good. So the next, now, this one is the clear quartz sphere. So I'm just going to read for all of these people. And the people who chose this particular one here was a Miss Melanie Dobbs, there's Nina from Shuffle Tarot, and an Emma Jade are the ones who chose this crystal. So I'm just going to concentrate on your names and see if I try and pull as many messages as I can out of this particular crystal. And we'll see how we go. So with my particular, you can see how one part is really clear and the other part is quite opaque. So this tells me that there is a decision, I feel like, that you are making, trying to make between two different directions. Also, there is a bird. Actually, there is a heap of birds in the clear part of this. I see so many birds I can't tell you. So I feel like for all of you, there are being messages that are being sent to you, but you may not be receiving them. But because it's in the clear part, you're gonna soon understand what messages are being sent to you. Okay. There's so many birds. It's almost like when you're at the seaside, you know, and you see hundreds and thousands of seagulls flying in the air. That's what I'm seeing. So there's definitely messages coming for you, but you have to be open to receive it. But I think you will, because it's all in the clear part of it. I also see a footstep. A footstep. So I feel like some of you are taking the first step towards something in your life. And now I see another footstep, another footprint, I should say, appearing next to it. One seems to be smaller and one seems to be big. So I feel like for some of you, you've taken a small step forward into something, and others have taken a really huge step forward into something entirely new. I also see the letter M. I don't know if that means anything to anybody. Of course, if you turn it upside down, it looks like a W as well, and a huge V. So MVW. There's lots of, I've got lots of silver needles in this particular one, which I won't even try and show you because it's impossible. I feel like that there's been a lot of needling, a lot of nagging doubts, and feeling like there's too many choices to make. You've been overwhelmed with things that have been happening, and sometimes it makes you feel like you're being personally attacked, personally stabbed. And there's one particular needle that's looks like it's gone straight through an inclusion in there, and at the bottom of the inclusion that it's gone through is an orange dot. So it makes me feel like that some of you may have suffered some type of a heartache of some type. Someone has really stabbed you in the heart, and you're finding it very, very hard to get over. But I've noticed that even though that needle has gone through, it seems to be falling down through the bottom. So this is a message to say that I kind of feel like it was meant to happen in one way to open you up to some type of reality that you may not have, you may have been ignoring and hoping would go away, and it's not. But it's so near the bottom, almost fallen through, that tells me that you are getting over it, or are nearly over it, and things will improve from now on. There's also a love heart here that looks completely icy. It's a complete ice love heart. Some of you have really frozen your heart. Your heart is literally frozen. And again, I keep saying it, but this could be happening because of what's been happening around the world. You feel like that you just need to shut off your heart because it's just too much to deal with. This is fine to cope with at the time being, but don't let it become a habit, because then you'll find it hard to defrost and start to find joy in your life again. There's also, funny enough, there is also what looks like to be a crystal ball on a stand, and this actually sits on a little stand and it looks exactly like the cliche photos that you see. So I think for some of you out there, you have been actually thinking of getting a crystal ball and scrying with it, and I highly recommend it. Go ahead and do it. It'll be wonderful. Really open yourself up. And now also this has morphed into a plague mask. So, you know, in the old days when they used to wear them huge masks with the long pointy type beak, hoping they wouldn't get the plague. I think this means that, and it's actually pointing right to the letter B. There might be someone whose name starts with a B, and this could actually even be a workplace or something like that, that is literally poisonous to you. They're like the plague. You find it hard to shake them off, hard to get rid of them, but you will get rid of them. Yeah, that's a kind of a weird message, but that's exactly what it's doing. That the big part is actually pointing to a huge B in there, the letter B. I mean, not the bumblebee type thing. So yeah, I feel like that's that. You know, somebody has. It's been like more like the plague. See what else I can see. Such a beautiful crystal. You can just gaze at this one forever. And now there's I can see looks to be like someone holding up a hand like that. And then it's also changed into a rabbit at the same time. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone. Anyone might be thinking about getting a rabbit. Around on the other side. I think also with the rabbit, it's more of a hair. You know how because they got the extra long ears. I think that some of you may hear something. You may hear something, whether it's a juicy bit of gossip or something that's going on. But I think some of you may hear something that will prove a benefit for you in some way. And I'm also looking here. It looks to be a worm. Actually, it looks to be a worm, and it looks to be a snake. So some of you are going to shed your skin and basically change completely. And also the early bird gets the worm is another thing. So if there's an opportunity that you hear about, grab it straight away because it'll get lost. It's a very fleeting one. So make sure that you actually grab it. And I see the letter C as well. I get a lot of letters in this particular sphere. When I done this private reading for someone on the Sunday night, an actual a name came through because I wrote all the letters down, and that's another way of spirit getting in contact with you. So even though they're all these odd letters that are coming, if you write them down, you might be able to decipher a name that's coming through. I also see a seahorse as well, a seahorse and a fish. Seems to be a lot of sea energy around here. Maybe somebody's thinking of moving to the seaside or having a holiday or something like that. But it actually looks like a seahorse. One of the leafy dragon seahorses. Absolutely gorgeous. It's just beautiful. It's really clear as a bell in here. And I also see an arrow, just the point, just the an arrow head, the spear, I should say, a spear point. So I feel like some of you are going to get news from a distance, and it's going to point you in the right direction, and it's going up. So it looks like you might be moving up. So maybe some of you might get a job promotion or something like that. And also it looks like a fir tree as well at the same time. So a fir tree, a pine may have some type of message for you out there. And then there's a piece of paper on the bottom, a very small note, like a stick-it note. Maybe some of you will find something written on a stick-it note that's going to enlighten you in some way. Yeah, when I actually turn it this way, that's not it. I also see a bird's footprint, the 3 little toes. So there's a lot of bird energy around. So I really feel like that for all of us, there's messages that we're receiving, but we have to make sure that we're open to receive these messages. And there's another love heart here that's almost completely broken into. So I do feel like for some of you out there, that some of us have had a heartache, very recent heartache in some way. Just keep turning it. It's always good to keep turning it, and then you get all these messages. There is one really thick needle that's gone straight through the actual, I don't know why, but someone is ringing. How you can turn the phone off for no notifications and get it is beyond me. But there is a very thick needle that's gone through both halves. So I feel like for some of you, something is coming up from deep within that's going to break through, that you're going to have a breakthrough of some type. I think that might be it for this particular one. Might be a little bit exhausted because I've been reading so much with it. So I hope, actually, I kind of see, how do I describe this? You can get, sometimes you can get an amethyst crystal, but I can't think what they're actually called, but it looks like a flower on the top of it, on the end. I think some of you may have been drawn to buying a crystal, an amethyst that's like that. I highly recommend that you go ahead and buy it because it will be good for you. I just can't think what they're called now. There's a proper name for them, but it's got all these sort of like a fan up the top kind of thing. And also I see like a bull's, is it a skull? Yeah, like a bull's skull, like a Taurus sign as well. So I don't know if that means anything. And I also, actually looking at this, it looks like the ovaries of a woman. And on the left side, no, on the left side is open, the right side is blocked. So if some of you out there have been having pain on one particular side in your ovaries, you might have a little bit of a blockage there and need to go to the doctor to get that seen to. It's nothing serious. It's just something that happens to us women. And but if you've been trying to get pregnant, this could be what's stopping you from getting pregnant. Okay, you might have a bit of a blockage in one of your ovaries there. Because one's really clear, really open. The other one seems to be quite tight and shut. And then you should, and then things should be good. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that I'm getting for this particular crystal. So I know that's for Miss Melanie Dobbs, Shuffle Tarot, and Emma J. So I hope some of these messages, what I saw in here resonated with you. It's really, really hard to do a collective one. That's what I was going to say, because I'm still looking to see if I can see anything else in here. But I don't think. Oh, actually, I see a chicken in here. Maybe some of you have been trying to get chickens, want to get some chickens. And I just saw a pair of angel wings as well. So some of you might have been deciding to work with angels, and that's a sign that that's the thing to do. And I just saw a door with a key in it. So I think that something's going to be unlocked. Oh, and then the keyhole just morphed into a heart. So something's going to be unlocked that's going to be very dear to your heart as well. That's it. That's what I'm getting from that one. Yeah, that makes you tired, honestly, reading that one. So who was next? So this was Julie Donovan, and she chose the blue agate slab. So I'll just get rid of this one. You could actually, it's got a hole in mine. You could have actually worn, but that's been like a huge necklace. Can you imagine that, wearing that around your neck? So as you can see, it's a really beautiful piece. I love the colour. It's almost like a teal colour more than a blue. But because there's a hole, I'm really attracted to the hole in it. So I feel like there's something missing for you. There's a hole in your life, in some area of your life. Being blue, again, it could be to do with your throat chakra, that you're having trouble speaking out as well. But I kind of feel like there's something missing in your life, or that you feel like that there's something missing as well. And right in the middle here looks to be like an eye, and that's telling me to trust your third eye more, okay? On the other side, there's no eye in it. On this side, you can actually see the eye. Can you see that? But on the other side, you can't. You're half shutting. You're shutting off your third eye. You need to open it up. You need to work on it, and the things that you will see, I think, will fill the hole that you're feeling in your life. There's lots of beautiful. If you turn it up this way, it almost looks like a spirit. Can you see that? It almost looks like a spirit. So you too may be getting spirit messages, but you're not getting them because you're not opening up. It also does kind of look like an aura as well around it. It looks like an actual aura. And there's lots of like little speckles in it, almost like a speckled egg. So I think what you need to do to help your third eye open up and work on it is to do some smudging on yourself or buy some incense or something and just sit and meditate. Maybe even get some agate because it does keep you grounded as well. But I feel like that you need to do that. Yeah, and actually definitely grounding, because on the bottom it's falling down into a hole, and I feel like because you don't ground enough, your energy, you feel very depleted energy-wise. You get tired a lot. You find yourself struggling to stay awake and things like that, because I think you need to ground a bit more. And because you've chosen an agate, which is really good for grounding, this sort of highlights the message as well. Excuse me. And I also feel, because there's such a beautiful energy in this, and it's got such beautiful waves around it, I feel like that that you've got a beautiful energy around you that's very protective as well. I do feel that as well. And I also feel like you're going to go down a different path, because when you turn it this way, it almost looks like you're walking, and there's a fork. There's an actual fork that you can see on both sides. I feel like you're struggling to choose between two directions. There's two very, very different directions that are going to open up to you, and you are going to have trouble choosing. And I think if you work on that third eye, once you start meditating and things like that, the answer will come to you, and it'll fill up that hole that you're feeling in your life. It'll fill it up completely. And also, when I turn it this way, it looks like a wishbone. So I feel like, and a wish will be granted because there's a tiny little crack up there. So I feel like that a wish of yours is going to be granted, because you can definitely see a wishbone as well. Again, looking at it this way too, it looks like a bird. So again, but this bird is all, like they sit on their perch. It's all closed up. So you've closed yourself up to something. You need to communicate your needs more. Just keep seeing if there's anything else I can see. No. I don't know if this is for you, but when I look at it like that, it actually looks like sperm. So somebody near you may actually get pregnant. So somebody might get pregnant, okay? Or it could just mean that some of you might go whale watching as well, but that's what it looks like to me. So there might be someone close to you who actually falls pregnant. So really, it's so beautiful. I wish you could see all the beautiful shades of blue that you get in it, beautiful teal and everything like that. I think that's pretty much it that I'm getting for you, Julie. So I hope this resonated with you. So now we come to Evie, and Fairy Rain Whispers, I should say the actual name, shouldn't I? And she's chosen the Bumblebee Jasper, and I had two pieces. I had a completely oval piece and this odd shape here. This is the shape that I was attracted to. And it's very much like a triangle, isn't it, with the top cut off. So I kind of feel like that your top has been knocked off in some way. Something's been knocked out of your life, which kind of sounds weird, but I don't know. There's usually when you see a triangle, there's something that you're trying to break free from. I think you've broken free from something, because this top bit is knocked off. It's absolutely perfect. It's an absolutely perfect shape. And the very top of it, in the brown bit there, I see what looks to be actually, hang on. I was going to say look like a lizard, but then when I turned it upside down, it actually looks like a rodent. Actually, no, it doesn't look like a rodent. It looks like a rabbit again. Only this rabbit's ears are down and very, very thin. So I feel like that you need to put your ear to the ground to listen very, very carefully for some type of a message. That's what I'm feeling, because the one that I saw in the crystal sphere, that they were really upright, like a hare's ear. This one's is down. So I think I just get this feeling you need to go down and listen to something. So maybe you need to dive deep within yourself and listen to yourself for some reason. And also now it looks like along here, it looks like what I'm getting is a Loch Ness monster. That's what I'm getting, a Loch Ness monster. That's what it looks like. I don't know if you've been planning a trip to Scotland or something like that, but the Loch Ness monster come to mind. I don't know why, but that's what's come to mind. And as I've turned it over, when I turn it over, it's not polished, only the front side is. But when I turn it over, there's an arrow that's pointing down to the brown bit there. So I think if you're having to need to put your ear to the ground, maybe you need to ground more again as well, I should say, because it's pointing to the brown on it. Because this yellow is very vibrant, and when you compare it to the bit that's polished, it almost looks like turmeric powder. It's so vibrant. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. I love Bumblebee Jasper. And there's a little house now sitting on top of this vibrant piece of turmeric-like colour. And there's a little house there. And above this house, there looks to be some rain clouds and a storm coming in. So I don't know if you've been thinking of moving or something like that. Maybe you're not happy where you are, or you're thinking of just getting away, going to a small cottage by the sea or something like that. No, not by the sea, because this yellow is so vibrant. I think somewhere there's a field of flowers in front of it or something like that. I'm getting like a little shack where there's either a yellow, bright orange sunflowers, maybe sunflowers, a field of sunflowers, or golden type of a field. But yeah, that's come through. It's like a little shack. So I don't know if you're thinking of going on a holiday, or somebody used to own a house like that. I don't know. And he used to go visiting there as a child. Could be him picking up on a grandparent or something like that, or an auntie or whatever. Auntie really sort of went huge in my mind, so I don't know if somebody thought of an auntie. Okay. What else can I get? It's only a little small piece here. And now I'm seeing some flags. You know the chakra flags that you get? That's what I'm seeing there. So maybe you've been thinking of working on doing some chakra work, some more chakra work. And one of the flags has transformed into a butterfly as well. So again, I think you're going through some type of transformation. It looks like all of us are going through some sorts of transformations. And I'm reminded of too, even though this side was with the house, but when I tipped up a beautiful sunset. So I think somewhere where there's beautiful sunrise or sunset as well. I think this little shack had some beautiful sunsets and sunrises, because it's so yellow, isn't it? When you look at it, can you see, actually I'll go this side, can you see how yellow it is compared to that side? It's really bright, isn't it? It almost reminds me of a Van Gogh painting. So, actually, Van Gogh and ears. It seems to be ears are coming up here, even though he cut off his ear. So I'm hoping you're not thinking of cutting off your ear to communicate better. But I kind of feel like it could be something that you're not hearing either as well, that someone's been trying to get through to you. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'm seeing a big, happy, smiling face in the sky. So I think we both know who that is, don't we? Someone who brought a lot of sunshine into your life. I'm thinking it's your mum. So I'm thinking it's your mum and your grandmother for sure. And then I'm attracted to this top of the line up the top there. It's broken. It's broken into 3 pieces. I kind of feel like there's some type of line that's going to be broken. I'm not talking about family line or something like that, but it could be someone in your family that's moving away, moving further away or something, whether that be physically or even mentally. Some type of distance has appeared. but there's very thin lines that are kind of reaching out, so I think it's going to be repaired. So if you've had any type of hassles lately, I think that will be repaired. It's very dark, that line, so it will get repaired. And now I can see a snake. So we all know snakes are to do with wisdom. And that's it. I think that house, that little shack, is the biggest thing that I can see there. So that's it for you, Fairy Wren Whispers. So I hope some of their messages meant something to you. And then the last one was Sapphire Hands, and she chose, he or she, because I can't tell by this name, is a beautiful piece of stillbite. Isn't it just gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. We got this at the, that's what the back of it looks like. So we got this from the Crystal Warehouse here that Nina and I went to, that we both put videos on our channel about. And what I'm attracted to here is this big fat pink, and that looks like a T, doesn't it? So I don't know if the letter T means anything for you. And actually tea, as soon as I said tea, I was thinking of drinking tea. So, and I just, okay, shh. Sorry, everything's coming at once. I think that drinking tea is going to benefit you, okay, in some way. There's going to be some type of tea that's going to alleviate some type of a symptom that you've got. So if you are female, and I'm sorry that I don't know if you are or not, but I was thinking of menopause and hot flushes, because that's what I get, okay, but I feel like that some type of a tea is going to be beneficial to you, all right? It's going to really help you with something. And even especially because this is a really gentle type of an energy, this particular crystal, and it's supposed to be very nice to have next to you when to help you sleep at night. It's very calm. When I hold it, it makes me feel very calm and peaceful and everything like that. So it could mean that you might be having trouble sleeping, and some type of tea might help you alleviate that. Now, usually it's chamomile tea, but I'm really attracted to the pink in this. So I think it's going to be something that's pinkish that will help you sleep, or whatever it is that's bothering you. That's the type of colour that I'm thinking of there. And I also, now it looks like on the bottom part here, it looks like a hand, like someone saying, hey, hey, something's trying to grab your attention. Someone's trying to grab your attention. There's this little, that's happening there. And there's also like little pink stairs that are sort of going up, heading up towards two big, huge chunks of clear quartz. I feel like you're stepping up into something as well, into a clearer way of thinking and feeling. And there's lots of blocks types. I don't know if you're building something, and then I can see a love heart as well. Again, a lot of love hearts in my crystals. I can't tell you how many crystals that I bought, and it'll be months, even years down the track, and I look at them and I notice a love heart. So there's a love heart sitting on top of a block right there. I think that tells me that you have got a very stable either relationship, or your heart chakra is very, very stable, because it's got two. It's hard to tell. It's got two big pink, almost looks like wings that are flying off that heart as well. So if you're not with somebody, if you are not in a relationship, I think someone is going to make your heart flutter very, very soon in some way, definitely. And it's going to be because it's sitting on this big block bit there, it's going to be a very, very stable relationship. It's going to give you a lot of happiness, And this doesn't just have to be romantically. It could be a very strong friendship as well. Maybe this relates to this, hey, I'm here type thing. Maybe someone's been trying to get your attention, but you've blocked them off in some way. Lots of beautiful stripes in this particular. It's such a beautiful crystal, actually. And we're getting a lot of stripes as well, too. So I don't know if stripes mean anything. Because when you look at the other side, it's just grey. And I think, we've all felt like that, like I keep saying lately. But on this particular grey, can you see it's all light, kind of a what do I say? Kind of like stripes on them. There's actually, you know what it looks like? It looks like birds again. It looks like a flock of birds. There's one in particular that's standing out, which is right here, which I don't know if they'll show up there. So it looks like a flock of seagulls. I actually remember there was a band called A Flock of Seagulls. Maybe you've been listening to them. I don't know, but that come into my mind. But because this is lightening up on the grey bit, so if you've been feeling a little bit down, I feel like that all this lighter bits are saying that you're going to feel a lot lighter in spirit and in just in yourself as well. You know, there's nothing. The grey is dispersing out of your life. It's you know, it's a really beautiful piece that you've chosen. So you're going to feel a lot more peaceful is the word that comes to mind. Just peaceful is what I get. And because this is in the shape of a mountain, if you look at it, the tip up the top there, I feel like that you've quite literally been scaling a mountain. There's things that you've been working on and building up towards, and I think it's going to be very successful, whether that relates to business, partnership, relationship, whatever. I just feel like it's going to be very successful, what you're building up in your life. And I'm looking at all the sparkles. It's so sparkly, this piece as well. A lot of sparkles around what I see the heart as well. So it's kind of a sparkly area there, I think, the heart. I don't feel it's a heart chakra with this one. I just feel it's your heart. I feel like it's you know, it's love. That's what I'm feeling. And I'm also attracted now to this, all the stripes in this big piece here. And I feel like that's a tree. And I feel like that, I don't know about, well, I've got a special tree that I connect with when I go for my morning walks when it's not pouring with rain. And I feel like that perhaps you might have a tree that you connect with, or that tree energy, or working with tree energy is going to be very, very good for you. Actually, myself, what I've just done for the first time in 25 years, I've brought some indoor plants. Now, all my life I've had indoor plants. But with my cat, bless her, who lived till she was 22, she used to love to dig them out and crap in them. And not just dig out the plants, but fling them halfway across the floor, dirt everywhere. So I didn't have, you know, plants for 22 years, or 25 years, because I only just realised when my stepdaughter started getting into plants that, why don't I get them again now? I haven't got the cat that's going to rip them up. So I feel like that, you know, some plant energy, even if it's just house plants, I've been really enjoying having them around. It's changed the whole feeling of the house. So I feel like that would be very, very good for you as well. And on this particular, this stripy bit here is like an X. So X marks the spot is what I'm getting. That also could be a kiss as well, but there's a big fat X on that, so I don't know if that means anything. Another love heart up. I told you heaps of love hearts in this one, hey? So I think a lot of love's coming for you. And that's it. That's what I'm getting out of the still bite. So I have read all of the crystals now. So I'll have a read of the comments and see anybody's got anything to add. The sunflowers resonate beautifully. Oh, that's good. Oh, the son's career might take him far from home. There we go. Yeah, it's hard to let the children leave the nest, but I tell you what, once they're gone, it's bloody good. Oh, it's so funny. I shouldn't be saying that, but it's, you know, it's a new life. It's when you become an empty nester, as they call it, you really learn to find yourself again and what you enjoy doing when you were younger, before you had children, you know. I mean, I had mine really young. 21 was my first one and 24 for my second one. So I had them fairly young, and I didn't really find myself until my sort of very, very late 30s, 40s, and particularly now in my 50s. So you've really got to concentrate on what brought you joy in the past and how to fill that sort of gap, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, okay, so you are female sapphires. So, you know, it's awful. You never know. I did have a feeling that you were, but I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too sure. Oh, no, Julie and Victoria, you're not too late. I didn't write you down on my list. So stay there because I've got it here. You had the peacock ore, didn't you? Oh, thank goodness I had a break. Yes, you're not too late because I forgot to write you down on the main list. So this is the one that you chose, the peacock ore. And as you can see, there's a bit of colour that's not there. This is the back of it. And at the front, it's very, very colourful. So what I feel this means for you is that you're hiding your colours. You're not letting the true you come out. You've revealed a lot of yourself, like the peacock does when they spread their beautiful tail feathers, but there's a part of you that you're hiding because you don't feel like it's going to be I've actually ridiculed come to my mind. You feel like you might be ridiculed and you don't know if you should let this come out in some way. So it's a bit of a grey area there for you, just like that bit actually shows, because this is a raw piece. So you're feeling, it's making you feel raw, literally. You don't know if you should let it out. I'm losing my voice. I should have had had a glass of water or something here. But there is also, again, there's a heart on there as well. So this is telling me that if you follow your heart, you can't go wrong. So whatever it is that you're not revealing, whatever, whether it's a gift or some artistic endeavor or something like that, it'll be good for you. Don't be scared to reveal it. There's a lot of blue in my peacock ore, more blue than there is the purple and other colors. So again, you've got to sort of speak from your throat chakra, but it's got a spattering of purples and pink through it as well. That the heart on this side is completely golden. So that tells me that you've got right there, that's in a heart shape, you've got a golden heart. What you do comes from the heart, and that really is follow your heart. I keep getting that in my head. Follow your heart, follow your heart. Spread your tail feathers. Show us everything of what you've got. It really will be appreciated and probably be needed in these particular times as well. So don't be afraid to show all different sides of you, because it's got all different sides. This bit on the top there is really, really purple, which is it's too hard to see on these type of things as well. But it's really, really purple. So it's very noble. So I get this feeling of nobility, royalty, sacrifice, and the very bottom of my peacock ore is what it stands for. It's just all grey, isn't it? So that tells me that it'll be very stable. It'll be rock solid. What you're thinking of that you're afraid to reveal about yourself is going to ground you in ways that you've never imagined. So you're going to be it's going to be really good for you. I really do. And this is quite square, but with a point up the top. So you're thinking outside of the square, okay? You're thinking outside of the square. What you're thinking about will be good for you. So, of course, we all know with the peacock feathers, they've got lots and lots of look like eyes. And maybe that's what you're feeling, that all eyes are on you and that you're afraid to fail, But we all fail, don't we? We all fail in our lives at something. But it's the lessons that we learn. If we learn from our failures, well, then they're not failures, are they? If we make mistakes and don't learn from them, well, then they are failures because we keep repeating the same things. But here, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And again, when you look at this particular picture there, it looks like a bird singing. So don't be afraid to sing your gifts out to the world, okay? Sing your gifts out to the world. They will be appreciated. And then it looks like that the heart is under the wing, Don't hold what's hiding in your heart. Sing it out to the world, all right? That's what I'm getting. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm getting for you. So I'm so glad you came on and I read the comments, because I had you written down on a piece of paper and then I typed them all out. So I'm so glad that you came. So I really hope that resonated with you. But that's what I'm feeling. Yeah, sing out what's in your heart. Don't hide it. Just reveal all of your glorious feathers, because we want to see it. So I hope that made sense to you. Hello, Raven, Lauren, Gory. So, I hope you all enjoy that. I really love doing live ones like this, being put on the spot and seeing what you're seeing. I think it's really good fun. Yeah, I really did hope you all enjoyed that. And I have decided to actually offer these readings on my website. I didn't put a time limit on my website because I never know how long these take, because you never know what's actually going to come out in a crystal. So, yeah, I decided to take a bullet, only because the private reading that I did for, she suggested that she would like to actually buy them off me, and I thought, why don't I put them up? So I've added it to my website for those of you that are interested, and it'll be a YouTube, so it'll just be an unlisted video so you can watch it, you know, whenever you need to and that sort of thing. So I've done that. And that's your welcome, Jen. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I had really good fun doing this, even though my husband keeps pestering me. You know, I've turned off the notifications, yet they're still coming up all the time. So I'm just going to text him and tell him to go away. So I'll tell him shut up. There we go. So I'll be quiet. So has anybody got any questions that they want to ask while I'm here at all? No one's got any questions? And, you know, if you think of anything after this live is finished, you know, pop them down in the comments as well. You know, I'm quite happy to answer any questions. I'm really glad that you're here, Julianne. I'm so, yeah, I had you written, look. Actually, I think you were the first person even. See? Peacock Ice, excuse my horrible writing. And then I didn't type you on the main one. I can't believe it. So that was great. Okay, no questions. All righty then. Okay. So what I might do is I might actually, let's grab a tarot card. Hey, let's get an overall. Let's pull a card and we'll just ask, is there any other messages? Let's have a look. Is there any messages? This is going to be my Isabel Snail Tarot. So let's have a look. Message for all of us. Okay, let's have a message. Oh, there we go. That one popped right up. The King of Pentacles. And it's got a ring on there that says always. So really, I think what that's saying is always trust ourselves, isn't it? To always trust what our heart is telling us. And because it's got such a beautiful pink flower up there and the ribbon almost looks like a path. So always trust that our path will be revealed to us if we follow our hearts, okay? So even though the King of Pentacles is more like an earthy, down-to-earth type of a card, but, you know, we need earth to blossom, don't we? You know, we need earth to blossom. And we need a little bit of fertilizer, hey? Sometimes we need a little bullshit to happen in our lives so we can actually truly blossom and learn who we are. And I'm also attracted to a little pumpkin there. So don't put too much of a shell around yourself and try to hide away, which is very good. It's a message for myself, actually, because I tend to hide myself at home a lot. I love being at home. I know, I just love it. So I need to get out a little bit more. And even just doing these lives helps me immensely too. So I haven't done very many. I think this is probably only the second one that I've actually done, or we've done a couple with Nina. But, yeah, just always trust yourself and, you know, and the circle of life. So there you go. So that was a nice way to end it off. The Isabel Snail Tarot is such a gorgeous deck. I absolutely adore it. It's just beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. So, yeah, it does. The colours are divine. It just reads, you know, it's such a cute little deck, but by God, you get good readings out of it. You really do. Have a look at the Hermit card. Oops, how cute is that? Camera is different on when you do on the live, isn't it? Hey? But, yeah, so it's a beautiful deck. So, okay. So, you know, all of you are very, very welcome who said thank you for the reading. It was my pleasure because you've all given me so much. You've all given me confidence to actually try this and support. particularly when I lost Oscar. So many of you reached out for me. It was absolutely beautiful, and it really warmed my heart. So I wanted to give something back to the community that has given me so much. And, yeah, so I think I will close off for now, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you would like to purchase one of these readings, you can just go on my website. I think there's a little link on top of your banner that you can click on. So, I'm quite welcome to do this, and I'm really, really, I really enjoyed this. So thank you very much. Bye.